Hi, today's video is all about interviewing. So first we're going to be talking about what to expect, then answering the tell me about yourself question, discussing preparation and why it's important, the STAR technique, do's and don'ts, and finally what to wear. In order to know what to expect, it's really helpful to understand the goal of interviewing and why you need an interview in the first place. Interviews demonstrate your excitement for the opportunity. They give you a chance to tell your career story. They also connect your experience to the position and the organization. And lastly, you can ask questions to see if the role aligns with your personal and professional needs/goals. For what to expect, there will likely be multiple rounds and formats in the interview process. So we're going to be covering a few of those options. The first is the phone interview, also called a phone screening. This is generally just a 30-minute check-in to get a gauge for what your personality is like and whether you'd be a good fit for the role. Next is a virtual interview, and it's important to look presentable, have a blurred or professional background if possible, have a quiet environment, and be expressive and energetic. Next is the face-to-face interview, and this starts when you enter the room, so it's important to remember your body language. You want to balance being confident and engaged with good posture and eye contact. Take time when needed to think, listen, and speak, and practice will increase your confidence in this. Next is the group interview. You will be assessing multiple candidates at a time. It's important to be confident and respectful and manage those group dynamics well. Last is the panel interview. This is with multiple interviewers, and it's generally for a more competitive role. You want to address each person individually to make sure you're building a connection. For expectations, it's also important to understand structure. First, the interview will likely start with introductions, where you will introduce yourself and learn a little bit about the people who are interviewing you. Next, you'll be answering the tell us about yourself question with the 1 to 2 minute elevator pitch. This will give you a chance to talk about your past, present, and future experiences and goals professionally. Next, you will be answering a series of questions provided by the potential employer. And at the end, you will have a chance to ask your own questions, which you always want to take advantage of. Lastly, it is important to recognize the thank yous and understand the whole interview process beyond just the interview itself. You want to be considerate with email communication beforehand and after by having quick response times. Don't be afraid to follow up. This shows interest and initiative. When answering the tell us about yourself question, you want to have your answer be an elevator pitch format, 1 to 2 minutes long. Here you can talk about the context in terms of past, present, and future. Past, describing your previous roles. Present, talking about what you're doing and how that relates to the role you're applying for. And future, you want to talk about how this role you're applying to could help align with your career goals. You also want to make sure to mention any relevant background and skills. Here's an example for how to answer the tell me about yourself question. I've been working as an administrative assistant for 1 year. I've also been a resident assistant at my university for 2 years and am the secretary of Marketing Club. At my current job in the finance department, I handle scheduling, meeting, and travel planning for 4 executives and 10 staff members. I also help prepare correspondence, presentations, and reports. I'm known for being detail-oriented, well-organized, and being able to juggle multiple tasks at once. As an international development major, I'm looking for an opportunity to take the next steps in my career, and I'm hoping to do so in a nonprofit like yours that works to improve the environment, which is something I'm passionate about. Next, we will be talking about preparation, utilizing the KNOW framework. Know yourself, know the role, and know the organization. First, for knowing yourself, it's important to know your interests, strengths, weaknesses, transferable skills, and environments in which you thrive in. This allows you to better articulate during an interview, and it gives you the chance to have the self-awareness to communicate well. Next is the role. You want to be familiar with the job description, focusing on the most important aspects of the role and how your specific skill set aligns with those aspects. Next is the organization. You want to know the organization through doing research on the company culture, mission statement, and values. You also want to know the benefits and the logistical aspects of the role. Even 30 minutes of prep can take your interview from average to excellent and give you space to be intentional. Preparation alleviates interview anxiety and helps you feel confident. When asked a behavioral question, one way to answer this would be using the STAR technique. STAR stands for situation, task, action, and result. And this is a great way to ensure that your answers are results driven and talk about the situation and provide context needed for the example. Here's an example using the STAR technique. You might get asked, tell us about a time when you had to manage your time well in order to meet a deadline. And here's how you could respond. Situation. In my previous IT help desk role, I was put in charge of the transition to an entirely new service request management system, on top of handling my daily responsibilities. Task. The goal was to have the migration to the new system completed by the start of quarter 3, without falling behind on any of my other responsibilities. Action. To do that, I had to be very careful about managing my time. I blocked off an hour on my calendar each day to work solely on the system migration. During that time, I worked on transferring the data, cleaning out old contacts, and fixing outdated information. Doing this gave me enough time to work on the project while still handling my other tasks. Result. As a result, the transfer was completed 2 weeks ahead of schedule. The new system has helped us get more organized as a team and complete requests more quickly. Now for general do's and don'ts. Do highlight why you're excited for the role and want to join the organization. Do answer questions utilizing the STAR technique. Do balance confidence in your skills with humility. Do ask for clarification and pause when needed. And do send a thank you within 24 hours. Now for the don'ts. Don't speak poorly of previous employers. Instead, focus on needs not aligning and stay positive. Don't be too casual in your tone or appearance. Don't go on long tangents or share one-word answers. Don't share irrelevant or outdated information, and don't use filler words such as like or Instead, ask for a pause and use that time to think. Generally, at the end of the interview, there will be a chance for you to ask the interviewer some questions. This is your opportunity to ask targeted questions to see if this role aligns with your professional goals, and it's also a chance to demonstrate that you've done your research. You should always come to an interview prepared with at least 5 questions that you want to ask, and generally we recommend using the framework of asking questions about the role, the team that you're working for, and the organization as a whole. So an example would be, for the role, what does mobility look like within this position, and how do you measure that? For the team, it would be asking the interviewer maybe specific questions about their role as the manager. And lastly, for the organization, you can ask about what the engagements look like and how they pour into professional development. Fit is important in both directions. Remember that you have valuable skills and you're also looking to see whether this position would be a good fit for what you're looking for. If the position does not seem legitimate, fair, or align with your goals, you're more than welcome to deny the position. Here are some general tips for dressing for an interview and some visual examples. Opt for clean, well-fitted clothing. Research the culture and dress one step above the company's everyday attire. This may include avoiding casual wear, so skip the jeans, t-shirts, and sneakers, even for a casual workplace. Groom appropriately and steer clear of distractions. You can still express yourself with accessories or colors that you feel like explain your personality, but say no to revealing or flashy items. Professional attire is ultimately subjective and may change from industry to industry. For a design position, it's more important to express yourself, where at a financial position, it might be more important to maintain the industry standard. Thank you for watching. We hope this video is helpful. You can find additional resources on our website.